My business made over $1.5 million last year, literally picking up dog poop. We're on track to make a lot more money than that this year. This video, I'm going to show you exactly how we pulled this off and walk you through step by step how you can start your own 7-figure dog waste removal business and ultimately call yourself a Poop Scoop millionaire. Let's get into it. For those who don't know, my name is William. I'm the owner of a now multi-million-dollar pooper scooper business in the Pacific Northwest and the founder of the Poop Scoop Millionaire community on School. Today we have a really special video because I'm going to break down a ton of secrets on how you can build your own 7-figure dog waste removal business. I'm going to tell you exactly how long it took us. I want to walk you through the organizational structure that we use to build our business. I'm going to walk you through the KPIs and the main numbers that you actually need to hit if you want to accomplish this goal. And I'm going to go over some of the top tips and things that I really wish that we knew when we were first starting off that could make a huge difference on the trajectory of your own pooper scooper business. Let's get into it. So to kick things off, I'm going to tell you guys exactly how long it took us to hit that 7-figure a year in business revenue mark for our pooper scooper business. And looking back at this now, I think we could have hit this a lot faster if we had known what we were doing from the start. So going all the way back to our first full year in business, we ended with around 350 customers on a recurring basis. We made just a little under $300,000. Year two, we almost tripled the size of our customer base up to 950 recurring customers, and we did just under $800,000. And it wasn't until year three where we peaked out around 1,500 customers and we did over $1.5 million in business revenue. If we kind of look back, we could have hit that technically in year two with that customer count, with our average customer at that time paying us around $90 a month. But the thing is, with a subscription-based business, is a lot of that revenue does lag a couple months as you are ramping up the business. So technically we had enough customers to hit that, but we didn't officially hit that 7-figure mark until year three. All right, so now we're going to actually look at the organizational structure of what a $1 million a year revenue pooper scooper business actually looks like. So if you're just coming into this and learning about the industry and you're not really sure about pricing or any of those other things, I'm going to link a guide down in the description that talks about how to go from zero to your first $100,000 in revenue. But for everybody else that's looking to scale up, we're going to just dive into this organizational structure. So a couple key things to keep in mind is you're going to have enough recurring clients to actually generate that revenue. And if we're charging around $100 a month, as we see here, you're going to need 834 recurring customers to be able to hit that $1 million a year in revenue mark. So that could look a little bit different. Maybe you have 1,000 customers, but you only charge $85 a month. You can still kind of get there the same way. So this is kind of another throwback to why pricing is so important, because you can make the same revenue with 150 less clients if you're charging that $100 a month mark versus $85 a month. So just something to keep in mind. Then as we're looking at this, we're going to start with the full-time scoopers, and one full-time scooper can typically handle around 150 customers. It could be a little bit higher, it could be a little bit lower depending on your route density and the size of yards that you're cleaning. But that's kind of a good rule of thumb when you're making projections, is that one scooper can handle around 150 customers. So going back from that, the math is pretty simple. We're just going to go ahead and take 834 divided by 150, and we're going to need about 5.5 scoopers to make this happen. So at my company, I like to be a little bit overstaffed, and we'll just go ahead and get that 6 scooper. And then we also like to have a little bit of coverage by having a field manager. So for us, we usually like to have our field managers doing those initials or those one-time cleanups and still running a small route, just so they make a good first impression with the customers. But they're also going to be key if somebody calls in sick. If you have to hire somebody, they're able to handle a lot of those day-to-day tasks that get you out of the field and get you working on the business rather than in the business. The next thing you're going to need outside of field workers is you're either going to have a VA, a virtual assistant, or a full-time in-house office staff. Again, I like having a little bit of redundancy, so I will have a full-time in-house office staff, and they're going to help with things like routing, billing, onboarding customers, dealing with customer complaints, all those kinds of things. And if they're ever out sick for any kind of reason, it's good to have a backup VA as well. This is really all you need to have a $1 million a year company. You're going to have 7 to 8 employees, depending on how staffed up you want to be. And it's really not as hard as you might think if you just kind of reverse engineer it by the numbers. So of course, there's going to be a lot of things that happen in business that are stressful and maybe not necessarily easy. But when we're looking at kind of from the top down, it's pretty straightforward what you need to hit this business objective. So as you can see, owning a $1 million pooper scooper business is going to look quite a bit different than owning your own $100,000 a year dog waste removal business. At this stage, you're not able to do all the work yourself, like with that smaller business, and you're actually going to have to go out and hire employees. So I'm going to give you a couple of my hiring tips that we use to get over 100 job applicants every single time we post a listing. Number one, I like to look at all the other landscapers. I like to look at FedEx, Amazon, entry-level warehouse positions, entry-level fast food positions, and I want to pay my employees a couple dollars an hour more than this for starters. That's going to get you a ton of traction when it actually comes to hiring. Number two, if you have it in your budget, I also recommend providing some kind of benefits for your employees, whether it's an HSA or a full-blown medical package. At Poop Scoop, we do provide medical, dental, vision for all of our employees. And then the third thing that is a pretty big selling point, honestly, is to kind of have a flexible working schedule. So our employees, they work Monday through Friday, and they have a little bit of flexibility as far as when they start and finish their day, as long as they're able to finish their assigned route for that day. So that extra job flexibility, the high wages, and the benefit, that's going to attract the best of the best, and you're going to basically have an unlimited candidate pool when it comes to hiring pooper scoopers. All right, so now that we have an idea of what the organizational structure of $1 million pooper scooper business looks like, it's time to go over some of the top key performance indicators that you can use to basically reverse engineer your business, and it will tell you exactly how many customers you need to acquire on a monthly basis to hit that 834 customer goal. So right here, this is a goal sheet that I like to use with a lot of the members in the Poop Scoop Millionaire community, or anybody that we're doing coaching or group coaching with, and that's going over these main KPIs. So as mentioned before, our goal is to do $1 million a year in revenue, which is $83,333 per month. And if we're charging $100 per month per customer, that's going to give us 834 recurring customers that we need to have within our business if we want to hit that goal. So there's going to be three numbers that are going to be really important to determining exactly what kind of marketing performance and customer acquisition strategies you need to be able to execute on to hit that goal. And I'm going to go through those with you guys right now. So number one is going to be your churn rate. And the way we calculate this is how many customers you have at the beginning of the month divided by how many customers actually canceled throughout that month. So in this example, we started with 160. We lost 8 through cancellations, and that would give us a 5% churn rate. And this is honestly a pretty decent churn rate in the industry. I see it ranging anywhere from 3 all the way up to 8%, depending on how good of a job you do at retaining your customers. So the second metric we're going to look at is your customer lifetime value. And to get this, we're simply going to take how much we charge each customer per month on average, which in this case is $100, divided by your churn rate, which is 5%. That's going to give you a customer lifetime value of $2,000. So you know every customer that you sell, that's going to be worth $2,000 over the lifetime of that customer. And then the final number, and this is going to be the number that tells us exactly how many clients we need to onboard every single month to hit that goal, is going to be your hypothetical revenue max. So this just basically means your churn fighting against your lifetime value. At what point does that peak and your churn actually plateaus and you're no longer able to grow your customer base? So to find this, we simply take your customer lifetime value and we times that by your sales velocity, or how many customers you're gaining every single month. In this example, we would need to gain 42 customers a month at that $2,000 customer lifetime value to eventually hit that $84,000 a month in business revenue. But now I'm throwing a lot of numbers at you guys, so hopefully this isn't too confusing. We do also have a full breakdown of all the KPIs in the Poop Scoop Millionaire community, if that is helpful. But this is just a really quick and simple way to see exactly what you need to do on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis to hit whatever goals you might have. So maybe you didn't want to hit $83,000 a month. Maybe you only want to make $40,000 a month. So you can kind of go back and reverse engineer this. And if you wanted to do that, you would only have to hit 20 new onboards a month, and eventually your business would get to that $40,000 a month in business revenue goal. So good numbers. These are numbers that everybody should know. Yeah, hopefully this helped you guys. All right, so now that you know how to calculate your numbers and you can kind of build a roadmap for what your $1 million pooper scooper business is going to look like, you're still going to have one big problem, and that's how are you actually going to go out and get those 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 customers a month on a consistent basis. You're in luck because I actually built a full marketing guide that is free right here in YouTube. I will link it up in the description and you can click on it at the end of this video. I'm going to go over our top marketing strategies, all the way from how we run Facebook ads that generated over 10,000 leads in the last 3 years, to how we set up our Google campaigns and how we optimize our SEO. Check that out, link in the description, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Happy scooping.